Hi everybody, I'm Chandra Saucedo. This is my third attempt trying to get this in under 3 minutes. It's such an extensive unit. Okay, so for my mini unit, I did measurement and data. There's all kinds of different ways to measure and in different units. So the main idea was learning how to measure and using the appropriate units and converting those measurements, and I did it for 4th grade. I chose this lesson because on the Smarter Balance test, there was for the 5th grade, they actually had 5th graders, they had a bookshelf that had 4 shelves on it, and it was a length of 2 feet, which they had to convert the 2 feet into inches to see what containers would fit in it. And it was very hard for them to do. And all I could tell them was, hey, try to draw a picture and, try to get. But I think if they had worked with this before, like with manipulatives or working with measurements and shapes and just had a general idea of what those measurements look like, it would have been easier for them. So I'm just going to quickly go through my worksheets. This is my lesson 1 worksheet, where they went to 4 stations and actually looked to see what an inch looks like, looked to see what a centimeter looks like, and then based on that, they had to estimate how long an object was, and then they had to go back and measure that object with the appropriate measuring tool to see how close they were. The second worksheet, the second lesson, I did changing units. So at the length station, they were going to measure an object and then convert it into feet or inches. And I just kind of gave them a little bit of freedom on that. And then the customary unit conversions. This is our conversion table that we were going to use in the lesson 3 and 4. And it was just like, how many inches, fill in the blank, how many inches is 1 foot, how many feet are in a yard. And then that was going to be theirs to keep and refer back to for future lessons. And then my STEM project was a building project, and we're going to take milk cartons, and then they're going to have to adhere to a certain criteria, like your building must be 24 inches high. It must be about 3 feet long. It must have a pool. It must weigh 3 pounds. It must take under 30 minutes. And then so they were going to work on this in a group, and then they were going to have to build a blueprint, include the materials that they might need, the supplies they might need, and with their group build draw a blueprint of their building so that it could meet that criteria with measurements, and then those measurements were to be converted if needed, or actually each measurement was to have one conversion with it. So this would be an example drawn as an example on the board to show students exactly what the blueprint was to look like. And then after they drew the plan, lesson 4 was to actually build using their plan. And then if they had to make any changes, once they went to go build it, they noticed that their measurements were a little off. They were supposed to write those changes that they did and incorporate them into a set of building instructions for another classmate to use. And that is my mini unit. Thanks.